But you get more AoE with your AoE. So Dignitas definitely investing big in this team fight combination. And alas, the lovers duo will not be broken up.
No Alistar here for Team Liquid, but we're moving on to the second ban phase. You already pointed out multiple tools of initiation for Dignitas. You have great follow-up with the Shockwave now. They need to pick up a marksman for Tomo. He's been great on things like the Aphelios in the past before. That can pair greatly well, where all the lockdown is made for him, and then he just layers down the Infernum gun and the Moonlight Vigil for splash AoE damage.
Yeah, Aphelios definitely very highly prized right now, but also the Tristana and the Samira, always really good pairings with the Rell. We'll see what type of combo they do want to go with. Jungles will be the ban here versus Pyosik, who has been absolutely killing it in summer on Team Liquid. The Lee Sin was probably his single best game, but he has had a lot of much better games this split than previous seasons, so definitely deserved here with the focus after the second round.
Yeah, the overall, I guess you want to go to baseball terms, like hitting record is just like through the roof for Pyosik in summer versus what he had in spring. Another top lane blind pick ban from Team Liquid against Dignitas. This tells me that they're gonna want to be
Wukong, maybe?
Yeah, setting up Summit for that counter pick, and so that means Pyosik is gonna be forced to pick a jungler answer in response. Wukong would be a good ban from Dignitas. Malphite, interesting.
All right, they don't care too much more about the deep jungle pool here for Pyosik. As soon as you ban out the Kindred, that's enough. As far as I'm
they don't care
concerned.
about anything else.
But the Lee Sin and Vi also following suit, so let's get the reveal. Gonna have to be a blind for Summit this time around. They themselves banned Renekton, which is one of the premier blinds at the moment. Summit, you heard in that little interview that he just did, that's practicing the tanks made him a much more versatile player and broadens his view of the game. They're laughing about it there, so definitely some Shyvana memes, maybe some Shyvana meme scrim data that they were laughing about with the hover over. She won't get locked in quite yet, so you can still have some hope.
I don't know if we'll be seeing Shyvana today unless the top lane matchup is good for Summit. The Aphelios, as we called it before, does get locked in for Tomo. And now Rich forced to blind pick a top lane into whatever Summit chooses. There's plenty of initiation, so Rich can go for something that is a little more carry-oriented, a little more split-push-oriented. In the past, he's always gone to Ksante when no other options are available, and it'll look like that's just going to be the pickup for Rich this time.
I hope that they're at least like practicing these hovers and stuff that are much more interesting. You know, little Shyvana in your life, little Shen in your life.
Yeah.
Spicing up in the draft here in LCS. Not gonna make it through just yet. Okay, some previews for next tomorrow or next week possibly. But in the end, I believe the Gnar should be the lock here for Summit. Much more stable here, and it is a classic Summit champion.
Yes, sir.
You will remember from the MVP split that he had upon arrival. And it was big Jace, big Gnar. We'll see if he can make it happen versus Rich's Ksante, because you mentioned the star power of Rich for Dignitas. That has been a player that people have quickly been drawn to since his very recent addition to the team. And Ksante is the champion that he has had the success with. It is those Ksante games that got him that focus.
And while the win records for these two teams are very contrasting, from what people say about these two top laners in scrims, once again, scrim bucks, you know, so take it with a grain of salt, that this is potentially a matchup between the two best top laners in the league, just based on how well they're laning, how well they carry themselves in team fighting. Summit, classic Gnar pick, whereas with Rich Ksante, it's one. The other nice thing for a dub for Team Liquid is that it would be another additional present for CoreJJ's birthday, so.
I already got the statue. What more could you need?
A 20-minute victory.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, looks like we have one sweeper for the start here with CoreJJ himself. Birthday boy sweeper action ready. See if they try and use it early on.
Actually, pretty defensive rune setups here, or summoner spell setup for Team Liquid's bot lane. Heal for CoreJJ, no exhaust, no ignite for the early all-in, whereas Tomo and Diamond are are equipped to go for the early aggressive take, try to see if they can get that snowball rolling.
Yeah, Rakan played defense in a lot of the early matchups, especially into Rell. See if Diamond and Tomo can make something happen. Rell has been front and center with a lot of the best support games that we have had so far in summer in the LCS. Definitely has a lot of kill power here, especially if you've got junglers pathing down. So Santorin going to start on the top side and go bottom, as should 90% of junglers in on 100% of their games. Always look bottom to try and get your advantages there, especially if you've got a Rell down there to make it spicy. Meanwhile, Pyosik is actually going the opposite direction, up towards the forbidden top lane.
You know what? One of the changes that Team Liquid has made is actually playing more towards the Summit, because if you go back and watch a lot of the spring VODs, I mean, Summit has these huge laning leads, but Pyosik never got a really chance to accentuate it or snowball it. One of the few changes that Team Liquid has made, Summit has been not only just as monstrous in laning before, but Pyosik is there to just really hit the last nail in the coffin for some of these lane matchups.
Yeah, and he has hammered those nails all the way in a lot of the cases, really snowballing them effectively. A lot of very good ganks coming out from him, as we said, in summer. And should just be full clear for both junglers, opposite directions. Bottom side pushing in here for Dignitas off the early stages from Aphelios Rell. It's always so nice with this champ getting to start with the green-red combination. And Rell with that ignite that you mentioned, always with that threat. So they push it in. Meanwhile, top side, similar things here for Rich, though he does get a little bit low and he knows opposite jungler pressure might make him play a little bit more defensively.
Yeah, he's already put a decent ward to cover the river entrance for Pyosik. So in order for Pyosik to make this gank work, if he wants to look for something, he would have to come through lane. But the lane is already somewhat pushed on Summit's side, so I don't think it's happening. I think Pyosik is just going to finish these Krugs, look for top crab, and then probably go for a reset. Maybe a mid-game or mid-game hunger here. See bot side action. A little bit of a knock-up here, just trading. That goes towards Team Liquid's way, as Diamond is the one that does not receive the bountiful end of that trade. It looks like they're just trying to get that shove in, trading HPs to make sure that the crash can happen and they're not stuck frozen under the tower.
All right, and Santorin gets a deep ward here, moving up on the Sejuani after the clear as well. Love that one behind mid lane. You saw that stats pop up on Jensen's Orianna. As he might get ganked. Pyosik and Viz, can he get in range for the E? Not quite. Jensen just walks away. Huge avoidance on that gank. Look at the move.
That's a Jensen Orianna. Any other champion, he would have died right there.
I mean, the whole point is that this is his most played champion by far in competitive. It's not even close. It's 32 games more than the next closest, which is Azir. 92 games for Jensen all time, and a 73% win rate for the champion as well.
Oh my goodness.
So he hasn't played it a lot on Dig.
Yeah. Hey. Well, now they're giving him a chance to. And Diamond there, a little bit of a shout out, tanked a lot of the minion wave damage to maintain that freeze, so Tomo just gets to walk up and say, wow, this is nice. It's a hugely stacked wave, and I can at least catch a majority of it. And so far, it's been a quiet early game. No grudge matches. That might be the next game, between FlyQuest and EG. Make sure y'all are sticking around for that one. That's going to be a banger.
Good versus evil. Tomo here, though, does have the marginal CS lead, picking up the extra 6 here in front of the tower, so is kind of nice for him when the 1v1, as the supports are on their roam timers. And both supports' roam timers do go mid, but it looks like with CoreJJ getting there first, he's going to get the deeper ward. Rich should be able to walk away, no problem. And really, the support chase is what I'm looking at here, because CoreJJ got in there first to get the deeper ward, but Diamond, see if he actually finds it.
He's not finding it right now.
Fight. He's gonna get it.
He's busy trading Lance with a Feather Quill at the moment. As Santorin committing the flash on a Haeri. That's flash for flash. Next time he rolls around mid lane, that could be Haeri going down.
Definitely always valuable to trade your flash as you're approaching towards level 6 as a Sejuani. Get the flash off the NA. Job number 1 here for Santorin. Checklist complete. Job number 2, go get your level 6. and then come throw it at the Annie that has no flash. And also maybe work around the shield timing, because the speed up from the Annie shield can give enough speed to dodge, especially with tier 2 boots.
Yep.
So can make you look a little bit silly. Maybe if they, communicate there with Jensen, burn the Annie shield first, makes it easier to land your ultimate. Otherwise, just Q drifting out of Fog of War and catching him by surprise is going to be the ticket for our first blood in this game.
While there hasn't been any kills, there's been a lot of action just in the bot lane of how Diamond is forcing Yeon to not have the greatest of recall timers. He's been stopped like 2 or 3 times so far, and they've caught waves. Already it's been a better back timer for Tomo so far. I don't imagine that it's going to result in anything great anytime soon, but if they can get... Nah, CoreJJ should be fine. And Yeon, once again, I mean, these guys don't get the back ever.
Yeah, Diamond chasing him out here. And should be the push out then advantage for Dignitas bottom lane. As Yeon and CoreJJ stuck in river. Tomo going to be able to push that one up while Santorin smite fights with Pyosik. Here we go.
1200, 900. It's a 600 smite. Oh, Santorin's the one that wins out on top of it. And then all out from Rich forces Summit to be separated momentarily from Pyosik. And Santorin, he doesn't have Glacial Prison yet, but they have enough damage. They take him out for first blood. And Dignitas are going to try to run Pyosik down. He gets Glacial Prison, forces Pyosik to flash away.
Oh, that dang Annie shield speed up too. But they got the first blood, Raafaa. They got the first blood. That top lane matchup you're hyping up. Rich versus Summit. Rich brings Summit over to the jungle smite fight to make it the 2v2, and Santorin, big burst damage there. Sejuani plus the Ksante stack up that stun, burst down Summit, and they take down the famed Summit Gnar.
Okay, Jensen not committing the flash quite yet. They layer down the Annie stun, but the damage, Jensen is super confident in knowing that it's not going to be enough to take him down.
All right, with that too, that chunk, they're trying to use the pressure here. CoreJJ roams mid. Haeri uses his ultimate to start up the Rift Herald. And I think that's actually still really worth it. You get a big chunk on Jensen. That's a health lead. Push out on mid lane. CoreJJ is here on his support, second support roam timer. And so picking up the Rift Herald could go a long ways in getting this early game back on track for Team Liquid, despite that first blood going over to Dignitas.
Yeah, with this trade, Santorin is trying to get the jump on the first dragon since neither team has taken it as well. He has the support of Diamond. He has the push from Tomos for priority from the bottom lane. So this should just be an objective trade overall.
Yeah, I always really like getting the Rift Herald end of that trade for the extra gold on your jungler.
Absolutely.
And the pushing power. But we'll see if he can actually use it. Pyosik does have ultimate, but no flash, as you mentioned in the last one. And taking the flash off of Wukong does, greatly diminish that possibility of actually getting the kill with your level 6. And even though Santorin did whiff that first Sejuani ultimate, or did get flashed, well, here's another look at the ultimate from Rich. Really good angle from him to bring Summit so far into Dignitas territory with that Ksante ultimate. Good flash repositioning from him, and then guess what? My jungler Sejuani Q right in with the W2 damage, and then he forces the flash out of Pyosik. And I was about to say, cooldown for Sejuani is back up already from forcing the flash off of Wukong. Now he's ready for play number 2.
Both top laners exchanging ultimates here. Summit doesn't look like he's the one that is receiving the beneficial end of that trade. Rich winning out on that one, and now that he's back to mini form, he has to back off.
Yeah, respect the Ksante. Rich Ksante, definitely been his best champion for him and for Dignitas overall, even, I would say, so far this split. So also not disappointing early on in this game. See if they can actually play off of it, though. It is a pretty small gold lead there for Dignitas, but Dragon picked up as well. And we'll see what they can do about this next round, because Pyosik does have the Rift Herald in inventory as well. And Rich's ultimate is not back up.
Someone can't get in range and mega form to scoop him back towards the enemy team. It looks like Pyosik and CoreJJ are not going to get much off of it unless if they just want to commit the crash. But now Yeon is left to his lonesome on the bottom side of the map. He has Featherstorm to play with, and the teleport is coming in. He will get reinforcements from Haeri, and they outplay it. They take out Santorin, and now Diamond's on on the run. Yeon and Haeri working together to keep themselves alive.
Yeon with the flash on the blade caller, gets the root under the tower. Haeri arrives and delivers the bear. Team Liquid, they also used the crash of the Rift Tail to get a bunch of turret plates on top side. While they didn't kill the Ksante, they forced him out. Haeri's chasing for more. Got to be a little careful here.
Oh, and Tomo just wanting to greet for the kill into Haeri. Oh, maybe he might have enough lifesteal. It's a 1-for-1 trade. And now this game is starting to heat up.
This is what we like to see. Full all-in combat versus a red-white Aphelios, getting real nice and cozy there. They end up both going down in the end as CoreJJ arrived to try and peel for him with the Rakan ultimate. Now we're even looking mid. I kind of love when the pace of the game gets so quick like this with all the action, because then they lose track of the roamers, and you can see it bleed over into the other lanes. Trying to push up here, so looks like we are going to get a recall and go right into the replay of the blade caller here from Yeon, but look at it. He saves his ultimate, dodges the Sejuani, then uses it here as Santorin is tanking turret. Blade caller flashes over to make sure he gets the root. Also dodges the Sejuani ultimate that came through.
Did he cleanse the stun from Diamond as well on top of it?
And allowed Haeri. I didn't check that one. I believe so. I'll go with yes. Haeri chases down. There's the cleanse from Tomo this time around. And you know how this one ends. The 1-for-1. Chakrams from Aphelios, giving him the extra deeps to squeeze one more. Here we go.
Oh, but Diamond has flash advantage on a flashless Yeon here. The Magna Storm and the crash down isn't enough damage. They should be able to take him out. And Tomo gives him the silencing blow. CoreJJ is now on the run. The Moonlight Vigil still available, but CoreJJ answers with a flash to get out alive.
All right. Just the one kill this time around. Looks like we're going to calm down. Wukong still moving around behind them, but he was seen. Looks like he's still going to go for it. They know he's here, though.
He's spotted. And Pyosik does have Flash and Cyclone. And all Diamond has to do is just buy time for Tomo to get out. He doesn't have any summoner spells. A second cast of Cyclone, and the bonk on the back end of it. My goodness, that thing still does damage.
Yeah, that's a completed Divine Sunder. Even though they nerfed the Divine Sunder,
didn't look like it.
Still does damage. Bonk on the head, get one back. So bottom lane keeps on going blow for blow there. This time around, the Wukong even sided on those wards. They thought they could outplay it. They thought they could peel him. But you can't stop the Cyclone.
That's right. Well, so far it's still an even game. The gold lead is pretty much negligible at this point. And Summit, despite the early pressure from Rich and Santorin in that top lane skirmish, he's still getting the better end in terms of this pressure on the plates, still pushing Rich into the end. And as once we get into the mid game where these 1-item spikes are coming in, Divine Sunder already completed for Pyosik, the Triforce for Summit. I believe that is where a lot of Team Liquid's power is really going to shine as they fight over the next couple of objectives.
Yeah, let's see if it actually explodes here at the Dragon, too. Rich does not have his teleport ready. Little bit of a desync on the cooldowns here, and with Summit chunking him down to 50% HP, this could be Team Liquid trying to use that small window and difference of cooldowns, but it looks like Dignitas are just going to stall it out until that thing lines up. Rich goes back, he heals up. His cooldown for teleport is almost up as well, so everything has been stabilized here, and they just continue fighting over the vision on the setup. Jensen now level 11 on the Orianna, so starting to have some power behind that shockwave. The rank 1 is pretty pitiful, but rank 2 here definitely starts to get a lot more impressive, especially if Santorin can start it out.
Right now, Mega just timed out for Summit, so Team Liquid don't want to really start a fight until he can work his way back up. Teleport is available for Rich. If he's ever outside of vision from Summit, Team Liquid would have to back off of a major fight, but right now they're just trying to look for bot lane prio to set up for that oncoming Dragon.
All right, Diamond wants some.
Cyclone on a Diamond. They have Summit TPing early. He's not Mega, but he is mini form. We'll see how much damage he can do on the left side of this flank. Tomo's completely separated, but now they're pincering into this tiny choke point. Summit is forced to hop away and flash. Can he get out alive? The heal will keep himself a little bit of movement speed, but Dignitas should be able to run him down unless he gets a couple more auto attacks. He's running away in. Rich goes down the Team Liquid's backline. Now Summit goes Mega. He throws Santorin into the wall. That's the double kill for Yeon. And Team Liquid turn this fight around. The Shockwave gets a little bit of damage on the back, but Team Liquid still walk out the better of the at one.
Oh, Summit kiting them with the mini Gnar fleet footwork into hyper proc speed. and he kites them through the alcove. They really wanted that tasty morsel. They couldn't finish off the mini Gnar though. They chase him into their own deaths, and Team Liquid bring down the hammer. See about the reset for the Dragon though, because they got all the kills, but instantly went for the reset to go by. And now we got the reset for Dragon. This is going to be even harder of a team fight for Dignitas to fight if they actually come back. Rich at least has ultimate, but he is really the only one for Dig. So I really... Okay, Haeri's coming from base though.
This looks difficult for Dignitas. I mean, Tomo is working with one summoner spell. The Dragon has already been bursted out. And Team Liquid, they just have to walk on out. Dignitas going to try to catch them.
Well, they want to delay from mid-turret because they've got White Gun Aphelios on mid-turret. Yeah, there you go. So they just want to delay them in the river, allow Tomo with the White Gun, finish off the turret. They do get that.
Haeri.
Not enough speed here to chase down Haeri, but they do at least get one trade-in objectives. And the mid-turret does really open up the deeper wards here around your jungle camps to start trying to get more. Santorin really wants the Rift Herald, though.
I'm genuinely surprised in how close this game has been as Santorin looks for the Glacial Prison. Yeon trades it with the Featherstorm. That's ult for ult. Shockwave not quite used yet. They're holding this position. Pyosik opens up with Cyclone. CoreJJ right on top of Tomo. Charmed up with the quickness. The grand entrance means that he ain't going nowhere. And Team Liquid pick up the AD carry of Dignitas.
All right, I want the spectator replay of that. I know it's difficult when we make requests like this, but the spectator replay of that from Haeri's vision, because Tomo was moving up on a control ward, but then he shot out his sniper Q and his ultimate. So Haeri saw where those came from and then nailed him with the Annie's Tibber, and they completely blew him up while he was in that brush. I want to check if he gave them vision by hitting, or if he was able to just get him from knowing the location of the origin of the skill shot. Oh, thank you, observers.
Ask and you shall receive, Kobe.
So there is a control ward that gets placed in this side brush. There it is.
Moves on out.
Oh, we didn't get to see the good part. It was too long.
Get the chance to see
but
it.
thank you for trying. Thank you for trying, though. Thank you for trying.
Shout out to the observers. They were giving us the good juice as Summit and Rich were all out fighting each other, making sure that Haeri could push in this bottom side of the map. And as we were saying before, Kobe, this has been so far one of the closest games we've had of the day, let alone the split, because a general narrative we're seeing is that a lot of these games are just turning into big stomps.
They certainly are, but I prefer these ones.
Oh yeah, I definitely prefer these ones, but I think it just comes down to the fact that both Tomo and Yeon are pretty much even in terms of goal acceleration, because when I was talking to a lot of players like why the games are feeling like big stomps, it's because as soon as 180 carry gets accelerated, it just seems over for the other team.
Yeah, these ones definitely much more close, especially with Dig being able to get this tower and further cut that gold lead down, chop away a little bit at these advantages that Team Liquid have been able to get. So we'll still keep track. Tomo now does have both of his summoner spells as well. Will be much more safe than the previous explosion that we just caught. Meanwhile, the bottom side kind of priority was traded there for Team Liquid. They took that opportunity. They got some deep wards in the red quadrant of the jungle. And with the Rift Herald, they will be able to secure mid tower as well.
Nice moves here from Team Liquid. But props to Dignitas for maintaining a solid defense for the first 19 minutes of the game. Usually Team Liquid, they have been finding early game leads and just running away with the game. I mean, we literally came off of the fastest win, or one of the fastest wins in the LCS. I think that that title got taken by Cloud9 recently, but you know, Team Liquid answering with that Pyosik Lee Sin game. And this one, it's been a lot more difficult for them to actually close out against Dignitas.
Yeah, they're not running away with it, but they are kind of walking away while holding it. They're walking away with it a little bit more slowly. We'll see about the Rakan, Wukong, Annie true combination. We haven't seen that real, synergy come together quite yet. Yeah. That next big one is gonna be a really big determining factor. Annie, when you're able to give the shield for the movement speed for the Wukong, and Rakan's gets that snap engage, it can be over in the blink of an eye. Meanwhile, Dignitas, we kept on in Champ Select trying to hype up their big AoE combo as well. And we'll see if they can actually get it started there. Santorin, Sejuani ult into Diamond Engage. Got to do the setup work first, though. You know, you can't just jump to the big wombo combo. Got to get your wards in place, control the fog of war, give you a better chance, more angles to go for it with.
Also got to make sure that it's at the right time as well. If you get a big pick, but there's no objective to take off the back end of it, and then it's only a small win, you want to make sure that these engages and picks count.
Plus, it's going to be a lot more difficult to pull it off on Yeon. The Xayah, like the counter-engage AD carry. CoreJJ's flanking around here, too, on the Rakan, but it looks like Rich is going to mark him. See on the mini-map.
Yeah, CoreJJ is forced out. No fancy flanking from the Rakan here. We've seen it in past games before, but it looks like he's going to have to go through the front door in this one. Yeon is currently separated away from the rest of the pack. Rich is not letting him go. Summit is now coming on the left side of the flank. Rich is just dedicating his job to keeping Yeon out of this fight. So let's see how much damage can Team Liquid get without Yeon. And it looks like they're just doing a damn good job already. Not really needing Yeon as he finally flashes in for the cleanup. They eviscerate Dignitas.
CoreJJ sees the angle. He goes straight in, and then Summit follows. With just the last little bit of his Mega Gnar, he flashes onto Jensen and Tomo. He got both of them with the ultimate against the wall, and that's going to be the win for Team Liquid in the team fight. It's going to be the Baron. Here's how it all starts. CoreJJ is going to go first. He gets the Rakan ultimate. He gets the flash out. So then someone's like, okay, no flash on Tomo. I see them both against the wall. Jensen and Tomo, both carries, nails them. And even though he goes mini right after, and he's going to be a squishy little mini Gnar, he goes down. You did your job. Well done, Summit. You got the 2 carries of the enemy team. The rest of Team Liquid will clean that up. And he knows, job well done. Last little bits of that Mega Gnar. Got both carries and got the Baron. Now they're running away with it.
My life for your birthday, Core. That's my gift to you. As the damage charts, even Haeri and Yeon. The fact that Yeon was kind of blocked out of that fight for the first portion of it, and then just followed through, committing flash and gale force. Oh, but now CoreJJ might be in trouble. Yeon tries to bail him out, but he is eviscerated, and Tomo is going right onto Yeon's face. He takes him out by himself. It's a 1v2 practically for Tomo. Can they scoop this one out? It's a huge Mega Gnar scoop up by Summit, but it's not enough damage, and now Pyosik is the only man left standing from Team Liquid.
Tomo stands up huge on the Aphelios. Is it enough? Pyosik, his smite is coming up. He's got blue buff, no flash. He's not going to try and do anything fancy there. It's just Dragon number 2. Everybody calm down. Those are not the huge rewards, but Raafaa, that was a huge fight from Dignitas. They are not giving up anything, even with the lead increasing for Team Liquid, and even with the Baron just getting taken, they won't let them run away with it. They keep pulling them back within reaching distance here. Yeah, Diamond starts it out. The Q stun into the crash down. They pop CoreJJ, even though he has a stopwatch here. Tomo's not going to let him get away. Fires on him, then goes for the extra 1v1.
Wait, this is a 1v2?
The extra 1v1 was Tomo chasing down Yeon in the replay.
Well, CoreJJ is here for the backup. Haeri is also arriving as well. Summit on the route. Diamond, Rich, and Tomo, the rest of the party shows up. No one goes down, Kobe. I thought we were going to get another brawl, but everyone backs off.
They keep it spicy. Team Liquid right back out to it. 2-1 on the Dragons, but still a very healthy gold lead for Team Liquid. And they can retake this vision control. Should allow them to have some pretty good side lane pushing.
Now, once again, Tomo just having the presence of mind that he is able to win the 1v1 against Yeon, knowing that he didn't have Featherstorm for the previous fight, nor the Gale Force cooldown either. Just goes in for pretty much total annihilation melee form. And then that's one of the things about Tomo. We have to remind ourselves that, he came up through Dignitas in a pretty, bad situation. Spawn was the starter. It didn't work out for them. They're like, all right, Tomo, you better be better, And there's a couple of wins. There's a couple wins for Dignitas. And it came off of Tomo just having clutch moments in these fights. And the one win they've gotten from Summer, Rich was a big highlight. But there's moments where Tomo was dodging out on Ahri charms from Jojo Pion, even outplaying a lot of the EG engages. And Tomo will find ways to clutch out fights, even when you least expect him to.
Yeah, he definitely has been big this game, especially on the Aphelios. Still a win condition for them, despite the deficit. He does have his cleanse back and available, but gonna be a little bit longer on the flash. Once you have those, then it's actually possible to really outplay this big AoE.
Things have gone intense here on the Rift. It's still a 3,000 gold lead for Team Liquid, but it doesn't feel out of reach for Dignitas the way that some of these fights have been playing out. It's a slight dragon advantage for Dignitas. We don't have Soul for at least another 10 minutes if Dignitas were to get the next two. Baron's coming up in 2.5 minutes. And it seems so far that Dignitas are just going to be playing the vision control game, just handshaking when they get mid-prio and moving into the jungle of Team Liquid.
Meanwhile, the side lanes I mentioned for Team Liquid, able to get the push out since we've got the Trinity Force Black Cleaver for Summit. He pushed on bottom very slightly while Annie takes care of topside, and then they're going to try and rotate right on back over. Meanwhile, Dignitas still moving as a full squad. The Scuttle Crab top laner fight also goes to Summit.
Wow.
And with CoreJJ coming within a screen of him, Rich fully respects that Rakan engage, flashes away from it, doesn't want to let him get anything.
Does CoreJJ stop the recall? Oh, he does. Little rascal CoreJJ, just making it difficult for Rich to get a proper reset in. We're still about 1.5 minutes away. Some change for both the Baron and Dragon. And so far, Team Liquid are kind of on the up in terms of trying to control how vision control is established. As you were talking about, because of that side lane pressure from Summit and no flash from Rich, it's harder for him to maintain control at the spot wave.
Certainly is. Helps when CoreJJ's coming around to put the extra vision pressure and the threat of the engage as well. I also love that he's using his Rakan skin as well, and you can see the recall, throwing it up on his birthday. Meanwhile, the Baron vision, though, has gone all the way of Dignitas, and Team Liquid going to do their part to try and take a bit of that back, some of the retake value.
Now for Team Liquid, I know the fans have been enjoying a revitalized look for this squad. You know, one of the things that haunted them in spring is early game was always great, but then they could not find a way to close out the mid game. They find an engage on the diamond, but Magnastorm is huge on the 3. Can they capitalize? Moonlight Vigil gets a huge chunk, takes out Pyosik. Summit's about to go mega. Does he want to leap back in? He flashes forward. He scoops on up, but one of the members of Dignitas, Santorin, is taken alive, but Yeon is forced to flash away the Featherstorm. Rich with the 3rd Q, and then Tomo strikes, catches him, and clips him out. That's the backliner gone for Team Liquid. Haeri's the only damage left alongside Summit, but there's still a jungle advantage and a smite advantage for Dignitas.
Yeah, and Baron just arrived, or just got started up here. Santorin's kind of low, but they don't care. They're going to be able to force that one quickly. Dignitas Baron is actually a dub.
What is happening? You know, Dignitas are showing up today.
This is a fight at the top of the table, Raafaa. Dignitas here, tooth and nail versus Team Liquid, the undefeated team right now. See if they can change that. But again, the engage here right onto Diamond. We've had multiple of these where TL go full engage onto the Rell and try and burst him out. They do go 1-for-1, trading support for jungle though. And then you get the arrival. Tomo is forced to cleanse Gale Force away from the Annie engage, and then he flashes there as well. Meanwhile, the ultimate here from Xayah used by Yeon, and Ksante gets the Ksante finish those things, while Jensen in the backline doing the kind of off-screen Orianna work there with the Orianna ball, adding the extra support for the chase down.
Yeah, both Jensen and Tomo were in great pockets. After Tomo had to burn both of his summoner spells, no one could get through the front line of Santorin and Rich. And that is one of the things that Team Liquid have to deal with now that it's later on in the game, is Rich almost gets taken out here by the assassination of Haeri and Yeon. They force him away. They're going to have to defend this top side, though.
Yeah, he almost gets taken out, but then he is Ksante.
Summit, he didn't get a chance to go mega! He gets popped by Rich like a balloon! And now Santorin and the rest of Dignitas have a man advantage to keep this Baron push alive.
Oh my goodness, Rich Ksante still delivers. Dignitas, they want to leave this base in ruins. Annie Tibbers, that's another 50 gold, thank you very much.
What a massive swing for Dignitas. And now they're just going to try to go for the end here. If they take out Haeri, there's only 3 members left from Team Liquid. It's 2 inhibitors gone. They have 2 empowered cannon minions as well with the Baron buff.
They're gonna keep on pushing. Blue gun Aphelios wiping the waves, 14 seconds on Summit.
Someone would have to go huge here. Yeon and CoreJJ, they're playing it briskly, but it's a huge Cyclone Featherstorm combo. CoreJJ starts it all off, and Pyosik has a stop. stopwatch to keep himself alive. Diamond looking for the engage. He gets popped by Jensen, but it's traded out by Yeon, looking for the triple and summon. It's just gonna teleport in. He's gonna keep and corral Rich and Jensen, but Rich at least separates Summit away from it with the all out. How does he keep doing this with Ksante? Rich is a beast on this champion.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Rich is not trapped in there with you. You're trapped in there with him. The Ksante ults him away from the team, isolates him and gets the kill. First of all, we have to get away from the engage though. No problem there. Goes all out the first time. First all out, chops him down. Spam of Qs, easy. The second one was quite hilarious though, as this is up against the Nexus turrets here. This is up against the game end. And CoreJJ, Birthday Boy comes in again. It is Rakan set up into Xayah Blade Caller. The Xayah ult, lay down all the feathers on top of CoreJJ as he goes in, Blade Caller them through. Then the turnaround from Diamond with the crash down plus Orianna damage from Jensen chunks them out. They were threatening the curve. And then it wasn't a full turn because the chunk that they had just gotten out on the rest of the Team Liquid teammates, and Summit knows then, Ksante through the wall.
Summit's starting to realize, man, this champion's kind of busted, guys. We should...
Rich is really good with it too, okay?
Yeah.
There are two things that are both true. Yeah, it is busted. Also, Rich is extremely good with it.
You know, a lot of the bans that teams have thrown away towards Rich has been things like the Gwen. I think another split pusher. I think we saw... I don't remember off the top of my head, but the fact that Ksante still managing to be accelerated to its full potential by Rich, I think going forward, teams are going to have to put a lot more respect on this guy when that champion is available, because he has been single-handedly keeping Dignitas alive. There's been great wombos from Dignitas on the back of it, but Rich has been the clutch maker as they look for one more engage. CoreJJ gets a nice grand entrance on the backside of it, and they're trying to take out Jensen. Summit scoops him on up, and Jensen's gone. CoreJJ gets traded on out, but Tomo's still alive, and he's firing right off back. Yeon and Haeri are the only ones left standing, but they have to deal with the frontline Rich on top of Tomo and Diamond.
And it's a triple for Tomo. Nice kiting there on the Aphelios. Nobody able to lock him down. Now he's got red, white guns. Diamond!
And Yeon looking for the cleanse, the Featherstorm. Does he look for one more? The gale force forward. Rich looks for the Tofa strikes, but Yeon flashes it. Doesn't get clipped, and they have to save the base from going down.
Yeah, the minions here doing too much damage. They did enough, though, with that kill onto Diamond to force the rest of them out. Tomo returns. Tomo's finishing that inhibitor off screen. Wonder if he's going to be able to get it. Magnetstorm, though, started it out again. This is what we're talking about for Tomo. Look at him kiting back just on the edge of the Cyclone there. Then he gets pulled in by the Gnar ultimate. Immediately returns to chopping them down. Red, white guns. If everybody dives into you and he's got the cleanse, then he's able to keep on firing, finishes that one off. Looks like he was not able to get that inhibitor during the replay, though he did go back into the base for a little bit. Looks like he was chased out again. So Team Liquid, they've retaken the gold lead technically, but their base is in ruins and they've got to defend their inhibitors. So no way you can go contest any sort of third dragon. Next one will be the Soul though, and that one will definitely need some action.
Yeah, we're at 35 minutes, and the gold lead, as small as it is, just means that this is certified banger status between both of these teams. This was unlikely going into the day. One of the top teams against one of the bottom teams. We thought it was just going to be another stop, but Dignitas are really pulling out all the stops, maintaining that they can still take on some of the best teams in the league, as the Baron, not even a chance from Team Liquid for a contest.
All right, another Baron acquired. Second Baron for Dignitas. Third one of the game. And 35 minutes in, you've been talking about how many stomps we've been having in the LCS all day long, and this one really delivering though. Dignitas making that comeback good. Now they're going to be at the gates once again. Top inhibitor has respawned for Team Liquid at least. Try and help out there. But this Baron buff provides so much sieging power. It makes it difficult to clear the minions. And Team Liquid, they really have to rely on Yeon to deal with most of the minions.
And it's tough because he has no summoner spells coming up for this next potential fight. If Dignitas force an engage, they know that Yeon will have to play with more respect and cannot aggressively walk forward.
Yeah, hard to wave clear for them. So Dignitas can just use that slow pressure to their advantage. Just work your way around the base. Bottom, mid inhibitor, then rotate up to top. Once you get all three, big bonus of pressure. Whoa, they're actually just going to go straight onto the Nexus turret. Summit gets chunked out. He's a mini Gnar. Really far away from the big engage.
Santorin's trying to mark CoreJJ on this left side of the flank. He's really going to have to look for a miracle fight here to catch Dignitas off guard. Tomo still has a flash to play with.
Diamond tried to grab an invisible Pyosik with his ultimate there. So now we don't have a Rell ultimate. Good little juke from Pyosik kind of made Diamond flinch.
Summit is about to go Mega. Rich is looking for some damage and a knockup, but Summit now has access to Mega Gnar form. But he doesn't have flash, so he can't get in range quite yet. He's advancing forward. CoreJJ looks for the grand entrance, but it's a flash out from Jensen. And now Team Liquid have to back on up. Santorin threw out the Glacial Prison for the slow. Rich is charging up that third Natofa strike. Moonlight Vigil goes wide. Team Liquid are doing everything they can to defend this lax Nexus turret from going down. The third Natofa strike clips Yeon, and he's got a Feather Storm, but he doesn't have a flash. This could be the end for Team Liquid. Dignitas, but Tomo gets clipped out. Team Liquid, if they just survive, they can withstand the hold. They can withstand the base. Rich is doing everything he can to clip this win for Dignitas. Jensen is putting a lot of damage to the backline, but Team Liquid survives. Pyosik is the only one that goes down.
He has teleport. I guess Rich is recalling right now.
Okay. A second flank attempt, but this time it's Haeri, and Rich is TPing back in. Haeri, you got to be careful about this one. That is a very tanky Ksante, and it's Rich's Ksante. The flash crashed down from Diamond. The Magnet Storm locks up Haeri, but Yeon, the fellow rookie, is with his back all the way through to make sure Haeri doesn't go down. They clip out Diamond, and
TL still fighting!
Jensen gets taken out by Summit. This is a banger, baby!
TL still fighting here. They will not give up on CoreJJ's birthday. Rich is gonna have to make do with just the red buff as their reward. Now, they have to deal with doubled up super minions in their base though for quite a while. We're gonna break 40 minutes on this one, baby. Love to see it. Team Liquid being pushed to the brink here. The second undefeated team in the LCS, and Dignitas, they are steps away from giving them their first loss. Look at the scramble here. Tomo got immediately bursted down there. Even with the flash, they were able to get the kill with Wukong. So nice chunk there from Pyosik. They got the summoner spells out of Tomo as well, so we'll have to see about the next fight. But after that, once Tomo's down, Dignitas have to retreat, and they can't finish the Nexus. So teleport from Haeri wants to get the flank, but we mentioned the teleport from Ksante was coming in too, and they're calling for the turn, Diamond and Rich, but it's a no ultimate Ksante, so he doesn't actually have the damage. He is actually a tank instead of being able to have that all-out button, so no DPS behind the turn. Summit is able to get Jensen in the end, but holy.
And you can feel the frustration, and Dignitas are so close from not only adding another win to their record, but also taking out an undefeated team of the summer so far. That could have been the game-ending play, and it doesn't go quite their way. And now Summoner Spell's advantage, we talked about it before. Tomo had the flash. This time, it's not with him. Yeon has flash advantage this time around, so he gets to play a little more aggressively.
All right, all about the wave clear. Dragon's Soul is available, by the way. Dragon's Soul is sitting there. If they botch this Nexus fight, they will be kicking themselves. But they want to keep up the pressure, it looks like, and play off all the inhibitors being down.
Magnet Storm available. Diamond does not have flash though, so he can't look for the engage up. Pyosik just goes for the flash. Cyclone engage right onto Jensen. Santorin peels right on back. Pyosik receives a lot of burst damage, but they take out the front line immediately. But Rich has dealt with Haeri into the back line, and he's going for the game end. Rich, can he finish the game by himself? He's got the footwork, but Yeon takes him out. Moonlight Vigil, not enough damage. Yeon is still alive. He's taking out one by one. The GA pop. Jensen can walk up potentially, but Yeon has to deal with two threats. He takes over the grand entrance. Jensen gets the last auto attack, and that's the undefeated streak gone for Team Liquid. Dignitas 2-3 on the board.
Just hit the Nexus. Jensen Orianna does it again.